Hello everyone, it's Attacker72 here, and for today, we have got ourselves some latest and exciting Nintendo news to talk about for today's video. And so the topic we are about to discuss for today is an announcement that we've been all expecting ever since February started, and it's about a Nintendo Direct, and more so than I thought. And I pretty much knew it. I feel like many of us knew it, as February is usually the big tradition for Nintendo Direct, sometimes January, but February is mostly the big times where the Nintendo Direct happens, and now we will be getting its presentation tomorrow. So right here on the official Nintendo of America Twitter, it says, tune in at 2 p.m. Pacific time, or depending on your time zone, 5 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow on February 8th for a Nintendo Direct live stream featuring roughly 40 minutes of information, mostly focused on Nintendo Switch games launching in the first half of 2023. So it'll pretty much be from February so far all the way to June, maybe July, but it's mostly just from February to June. So yeah, that's really exciting. I expected this to happen, and you know what? I decided that I will not be making a separate video just for predicting, because not only is this a news video, I'll also be doing a prediction video in here right now, where I've already talked about my predictions on Twitter, but if you're wondering what I truly feel and what other fans might feel, then I will be showing you right away. And so with that, let's not waste time, let's get started predicting what's going to be happening for tomorrow's Nintendo Direct, in my personal opinion. First off, we're gonna go with some easy ones. First off being Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe, which is supposed to be coming out this month. With this being a remake, and from what I've heard, there was also a rumor about a post-game featuring Magolor in there. So they're pretty much going to just discuss things further, plus the game is supposed to be coming out in about a couple weeks, so that's one way to promote it. But funny enough is that Octopath Traveler 2, the sequel to that game, is supposed to be releasing on the same day. So it could be a bit of a hard choice on what you go. So would you prefer a cute puff boy who is pretty much all about, or were you all about platformers and all, or do you really like to expand your RPG horizon with Octopath Traveler 2? I have not played Octopath Traveler 1, sadly. I might pick this up, but I wouldn't honestly get it if I got the first game at that. So yeah, these are two games that will be released on the same day, so that's just some easy ones right there. Next up is something that I'm pretty sure might happen, and I know Nintendo's gonna butcher it: a Mario baseball game on the Nintendo Switch. Now, if you didn't know, about a couple days ago, maybe about a week ago, there was a rumor spaced off that there was gonna be a Mario baseball game on the works for the Nintendo Switch. And the reason I say that Nintendo might butcher it, and most likely will, is because of how they've been treating their Mario sports game lately. Strikers last year was the biggest example of how butchered it was, with not only very little content at launch, but basically going to the free update standpoint. That happened when Mario Golf Super Rush back in June of 2021, and then that also happened back in Mario Tennis Aces in 2018, where, in my opinion, that's the best example of how they managed to do a free update with that sport instead. With Mario Baseball game, as much as I really want this to return, I am afraid that they might find some ways to put in the free updates thing. They're probably going to have like 8 captains and all, and not the usual variety of roster we had from the last game. And just like with Strikers, this one hasn't gotten any new installments since, I think, at around 2007 or 2009. So that's a really difficult one for them. But like I said, this is just a rumor. We're not too sure whether or not it's gonna happen. But from a Nintendo standpoint, and I'm pretty sure this is gonna be releasing at around June, like they do with every Mario sports game in general. Next up is some Nintendo Switch Online stuff. Add some more N64 games like Smash 64 and all, and Pokemon. Oh, actually, no, Pokemon Stadium is already there. Like, just a few classics and all. The one thing I did mention on my Twitter, which I don't know if it's really likely, and that's pretty much the addition of GameCube Nintendo games. That seems a bit much, though, I know, but that's just kind of what I feel like on Twitter. I feel like it's just a bad idea to begin with, but I'm only mentioning this now because I know Nintendo loves to shove in some Nintendo Switch Online things in there. Next up is some Splatoon-related content. This Saturday, we'll be getting the new Splatfest of Dark Chocolate, Milk Chocolate, and White Chocolate, so pick your team, everybody. Another thing to mention is that there is supposed to be a DLC that features Pearl and Marina, as Splatoon 3 never really featured those characters aside from the iconic Squid Sisters from the first game, and obviously Deep Cut. So I honestly hope to see some sort of Splatoon-related content in here, given that we've already in February right now. I'm not sure when when this brand new season of Splatoon will end. I'm pretty sure that it's gonna end at some point next month, or I think it was this month, I can't remember. But yeah, Splatoon 3 content, I expect some things about that. Maybe most like, maybe just mentioning the Splatfest is all. Next up is something that I feel it's 50-50, depending on how Nintendo's standpoint is with the Miis. Tomodachi Life. Back in 2021, they released Miitopia for the Nintendo Switch, a game that I never thought I expected to get ported along with brand new additional content to add along the way. It was something that I never really expected, and that gave me a lot of hope for Tomodachi Life. However, given with how they treated the Miis and left and right, it kind of is mixed with Nintendo on how they put the Miis in. Sometimes they feature the Miis, sometimes they don't. And with Tomodachi Life, and thanks to Miitopia now coming as a brand new Switch port back in 2021, I really hope that Tomodachi Life gets the same treatment along with some brand new additions. Maybe a sequel to Tomodachi Life or just a deluxe port of it. I know some of you Mii fans, and especially the ones who play Tomodachi Life, would want to play a game on your Switch. Speaking of how they've been treating Mii's, Nintendo Switch Sports is another thing I want to mention. The last sport they added was golf, which was November of last year, and that took at least 7 months, no, not 7 months, that took at least about 7 months for him to finally add golf, and I heard there was supposed to be a sport that relates to both basketball and dodgeball. I honestly want boxing more so I can fight Matt in this one, but even if so, I know Nintendo Switch Sports have been treated a lot by Nintendo very poorly and gets a lot of hate on the community when in reality it really wasn't, the game's fault. It was kind of from how the developers had to go through a lot of development hell and, and they had to restart it a couple times as they couldn't capture the Wii Sports spirit. And I'm pretty sure with the whole free update standpoint, you can kind of see why Nintendo has been treating their Mii games kind of poorly lately. So I at least hope that Switch Sports gets some more updates and support because they mostly been giving out the outfits and other emotes every Thursday and all, and I really hope they add some major sports like boxing, and I hope basketball and dodgeball. I honestly hope for baseball to return as well, just so we can have the fun of it and capture the Wii Sports spirit like what it was. Next up is something that I know many Nintendo fans want, and that is a Donkey Kong game, and like a new Donkey Kong game, not just a simple port like with Tropical Freeze and Funky Mode. We want at least a new tropical, not new, like a new game that isn't just purely a port. The last Donkey Kong game we've gotten was back in 2014, almost 10 years ago, and it was released for the Wii U. And that was pretty much the last thing we ever see from Donkey Kong, and for the rest of the Switch era, we've been seeing Donkey Kong relegated into either cameos or some major mentions, and that's really about it. I really hope that maybe Retro Studios is going to be working on game. From what I've heard a while back, there was supposed to be a Donkey Kong game that was made by the Odyssey team, so that could be something. Imagine an open world Donkey Kong game, and I want it to feel like, what it really feels like, a modern Donkey Kong game, and not just the typical country games. I don't mind the country games, they're really great. I just think we need to spice things up for Donkey Kong, and maybe bring back King K. Rool if there's ever a chance. Next up is something regarding about Pikmin 4. Now, Pikmin 4 is now releasing this year of 2023. After 7 years of waiting for the game to ever get mentioned, Pikmin 4 has finally been announced back at September of 2022. Now, the question is when the game is going to come out. Well, the first thing I do have to mention is that just like with Mario Baseball, there was an apparent leak that stated that Pikmin 4 is supposed to be coming out on May of this year, which I'm not gonna lie, that sounds a bit too soon than I expected. But then again, Nintendo can be a bit unexpected with the release dates, but even if so, I can't wait to see, what Pikmin 4 has to offer. I personally never played the Pikmin games, but I know the fans of it are really excited for Pikmin to finally get the treatment and attention that Nintendo gives out and what Pikmin really deserves. We can see a new protagonist, brand new gameplay, and maybe a release date, and if there's ever a chance for it. Alrighty, I'm gonna be talking about just a couple of third-party games that will be coming to the Switch and all. First of all, being Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp. Now, the game has been delayed like 2 times at this point for the Nintendo Switch. It has been announced ever since then, but keeps on getting delayed. It was supposed to be coming out on 2021. It was supposed to release on April of 2022. Many already moved on. Many just kinda were excited about it until Nintendo had to delay it indefinitely for for real-world purposes and all, and since then, Advance Wars has not been shown since. And don't worry, for those who are wondering, it has not been cancelled. It is currently still in development, and I think it's a good time to finally give an exact and definitive release date and not just keep on delaying it. I swear. Advance Wars as a franchise keeps on getting really bad luck in terms of releasing on certain days. I'm not going to mention them because I know YouTube's going to be hissy about it. But yeah, Advance Wars 1 and 2 plus 1+2, we need a release date for those fans that have been really hungry for, to get this game coming out at that point. And next up is a kind of another obvious one, and this is something that was shown off back at the Game Awards, and that was a brand new Bayonetta game, which is supposed to be a prequel called Bayonetta Origins Syriza. So I'm not sure what to say about this. I personally never played the Bayonetta franchise and all, but it's supposed to be coming out next month on March, so I guess it's a good time to just promote the game while you're at it. Plus, if you're a huge fan of Bayonetta, despite the whole controversy with the original Bayonetta voice actress had. If you are just a huge Bayonetta fan, you can at least get it just so you can have some more story-wise and lore what's within the Bayonetta franchise. The next up is 4 types of DLC. First off being the Sonic Frontiers roadmap, which the first update is supposed to be coming out. I mean, from what I can predict, it's supposed to be coming out this year on around most likely spring. Now I know this is not Nintendo's doing. This is most likely Sega and Sonic teams doing. But if they're gonna do it at some point, then Nintendo may have some good promotions if they decide to show the first update. I mean, and besides, I want to refight all of the Titan bosses and Frontiers. You can't deny how amazing and epic those bosses can be. And with the when the second update and third update, I'm pretty sure that it's going to be some other time, maybe around April or May or some point, and then the third update will be in like fall. So yeah, Sonic Frontiers DLC first update, I hope it's coming out in spring, maybe next month, possibly this month and all, but I'm just jumping the gun and expecting a bit too much right now. Next up is Xenoblade Chronicles 3 DLC, which the third wave is going to be coming out on April of 2023, and then the fourth wave is supposed to be coming out before the end of before the end of this year. The third wave is supposed to be featuring a new hero along with some new challenges and some other stuff. We've already gotten Ino from last October, so I honestly expect this second new hero to be coming out at around April, as the release date suggests. And spoiler alert, the design of the new hero has kind of been leaked already, but we're not too sure whether or not it's true until they show it off tomorrow. So Xenoblade Chronicles 3 DLC, that's an obvious must. The next DLC is something that I'm not too sure if they're going to show off more, because we recently just got Fire Emblem Engage about a couple months ago thanks to the additions of Tiki and the 3 house leaders added into that game as our first wave, which launched the same day as Engage. But if we're going to be more hype about it and all, I do hope they're going to be adding at least some more stuff with the second wave, maybe some new maybe some new ring emblems and all, like Alm, or some recognizable ones that I could mention. I'm honestly surprised Robin isn't in there as an emblem, but Lucina is. I'm also surprised Chrom is in there as well. So maybe some nice additions to get out some more lore within the Fire Emblem franchise. And then last but not least, the last DLC to talk about before we get to some of the big major ones is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pass Wave 4. We've gotten Wave 3 back in November of last year, so Wave 4 could possibly come out maybe at around spring. It could be around March, which is strangely enough supposed to be the 1 year anniversary since the release of, I think was supposed to be the 1 year anniversary since the release of the DLC pass, or unless that's supposed, or unless that's April. I'm not too sure whether it's March or April, but I think it's most likely March, since I do think it's a nice way to kind of commemorate the first year since the DLC has released. Plus, I mean, when that fourth wave releases, if we're gonna go in correct order, we could possibly see wave 5 in like at around summer or fall, and then the final wave being the winter of this year. So that's the last DLC discussion we can talk about. And then for the last prediction for tomorrow's Nintendo Direct are 4 major ones that 3 out of 4 I can totally see, with one of them that I'm very skeptical and not too sure of. And the skeptical one I'm talking about is a lot of things many fans are mentioning in their prediction list. Metroid Prime 4. With thanks to Metroid Dread from about a couple years back, the Metroid series seems to be getting back on its feet after not getting any new big installments on the Switch until then. Metroid Prime 4 has been in development for a long time now, ever since its announcement back in 2017 of E3. There hasn't been any information about Metroid Prime 4 since then, until 2019, where they announced that the game was sadly going to get restarted by Retro Studios, who are the developers from the past Metroid games and all. And when Metroid Prime 4, it's about the 75 and then 25% to me, in my opinion. Because when it comes to Metroid Prime 4, I get it. Metroid Dread, it was a big success. It brought back the Metroid franchise after a long wait for many fans that are hungry for a Metroid installment on the Switch at some point. But with Metroid Prime 4, I'm not too sure. We could possibly see it this year, we could possibly see it next year. And if Metroid Prime 4 ever released, then there has to be some sort of Metroid trilogy on the Switch. If that's ever going to happen. I know the Metroid rumors have been going crazy when it comes to trilogy, but for now, I'm going to put this right here in case anybody is going to ask me where is Metroid Prime 4 in my prediction list. Next up is something that I feel like could happen, and that is some more Mario movie stuff. We've been getting a lot of Mario news, more movie news for the past few weeks and all, with Donkey Kong's voice now being heard and talked by Seth Rogen, and also this new poster that I'm showing you right now that I've already covered about a couple days ago. And with the movie coming out in about 2 months, I think there's nothing wrong with showing off some more Mario movie stuff, maybe a new trailer, and also a brand new look at the last character we have not seen in the movie yet, Foreman Spike, who was supposed to be Mario's and Luigi's boss, from what I can presume. We already saw Cranky Kong from the second trailer last year, so I honestly hope for Foreman Spike to be shown up, as he is one of the last characters to be shown in the movie that already has a voice acting role in there. And we already know about Charles Martinet, as he will be playing as other cameos. I really am excited for the Mario movie still. I feel like many of you should be as well. And now for the last thing are 2 big ones that I know that one of them I can totally see, because, you know, it's gonna happen it's gonna be released in a few months. But for now, I'm gonna be talking about a possible new 3D Mario game. With the Mario movie coming out in about a couple months, I think it's best to keep the game going with not just the rumored Mario baseball game, but also a brand new Mario 3D game. Maybe not Odyssey 2, I know many want a sequel to Odyssey at some point, but I think a brand new Mario game with some new mechanics and a story would be a nice way to kind of give out the Mario hype throughout of this year. I know many think that it's a bit too much, and I'm pretty much expected. Keep in mind that these are predictions that I see from many prediction lists and speculation from fans. So some of them I do really want to see personally, like Sonic Frontiers and also obviously Kirby and Return to Dreamland. But the last one I will be talking about, as I think it's a good way to end off the Nintendo Direct, if that's going to happen, is new gameplay footage of Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. It's supposed to be coming out on May this year, and I know many are expecting this game to be delayed, but it's seeing that Nintendo is having a definitive release date with May 10th of 2023. May 12th, 2023, which is strangely enough 10 days after my birthday. So I'll probably pre-order it as a sort of celebration. We will see some new gameplay footage. Don't show too much gameplay, as it might spoil some things. Maybe just show some flashes and all, and maybe a good look at some more Tears of the Kingdom stuff. this is really hyped, to be honest, because, you know, it's been 6 years, and with 6 years of development with the sequel to Breath of the Wild, I really hope it's gonna be worth waiting all this time, given that this is supposed to be coming out in a few months. And don't worry, they are very clear about the release dates. So, but yeah, that's pretty much all my prediction and the news for the upcoming Nintendo Direct. Let me know all your thoughts and opinions down below about this. Are you guys excited for tomorrow's presentation? And what do you think might happen in that presentation for tomorrow? I hope you all enjoyed this video, and so with that, leave a like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell for more videos, follow my Twitter, and I'll see you guys next time. And remember this, once a legend, always a legend.